Good morning, class. So, today we're going to talk a little bit about poetry, and an element that happens to be in poetry is something called figurative language. Does anybody remember from past years what figurative language is?
No.
No? Okay, well, good thing we're going to talk about it today, right? Okay, so figurative language is when words mean something other than their literal meaning. So there's a bunch of different types of figurative language. The first one that we're going to talk about, and we're going to spend the whole day on this one, but we're going to cover the rest on the rest of the days, so don't get stressed out with all this information, okay? We're just going to talk about similes today. So a simile is a comparison of two unlike things using like or as. Does anyone have an example of a simile? No? That's okay. I came up with a couple. So my brothers are as loud as cymbals banging together. So I use the word as in that example because I said my brothers are as loud as cymbals clanging together. They're not actually cymbals, but we're comparing them. So I use the word as. The next element that we're going to talk about is metaphors. A metaphor is a comparison of two unlike things that says one thing is another. So an example of this would be, the new baby was a bundle of joy. She's not actually a bundle of joy, right?
No.
No, but we think that she's really happy, so we're going to call her a bundle of joy. The next one that we're going to talk about are hyperboles. Do I have a volunteer to read the definition?
I will.
Okay, go ahead, Nate. And this is a big word, so it's okay if you need some help.
An exaggeration that can't possibly be true.
All right. So anyone have any examples of this? I think I've heard you guys say a couple of them, but you didn't actually know that they were figurative language, did you? So it felt as if I walked 1,000,000 miles to school. You didn't actually walk 1,000,000 miles, right?
No.
But it sure felt like it when it's super hot outside. So you guys were using figurative language and you didn't even know it. Okay, so the next one is personification, which is giving human qualities to non-human things. Anyone think of an example?
Mm-mm.
So an example would be, the morning sun smiled down on me as I walked to the bus. Does the sun actually smile?
Sometimes.
No, not really. We might think it smiles, but it doesn't actually smile. Only humans smile. Okay, so this next one can be a little bit tricky to say. So alliteration, the repetition of the same initial constant sound. So a constant sound is at the beginning of the word, and it usually could be like 2 letters. So an example would be, he helped her hurt head heal. So that's kind of tricky to say, right? Another example would be, Sally sells seashells by the seashore. See, Miss Norton struggled a little bit with saying alliterations. So they can be a little bit tricky, but don't get worried. The next one would be an onomatopoeia, which is a big word, but it is words whose sounds suggest their meaning. So an example would be, a snowball whooshed past my car during this snowball fight. So it's kind of like the sound of the thing, of the word you're trying to describe. So whooshed would be the onomatopoeia in that example. The next one that we are going to talk about is an idiom. Do I have a volunteer to read this one?
I can try.
Okay, go for it.
A group of words whose meaning isn't understood from their literal meaning.
All right, good job, Nathaniel. So an example of an idiom would be, after we can win the soccer game, my my team was on cloud 9. You're not actually on a cloud, right?
No.
Right, but you feel pretty good, so you're way up in the sky. All right, we're getting close to the end. Okay, so an allusion is a reference to a famous person, place, or event. The gold medal winner was a Cinderella story. Who's Cinderella? Does anyone know who Cinderella is?
No.
Oh, some of the girls over there know who Cinderella is. So Cinderella is a princess. So she is someone famous. So her story is famous. So that would be the illusion. And our last one is an oxymoron, which is a phrase whose words contradict each other with opposite meanings. So does anyone know what contradict means?
No.
Okay, so contradict means that the two words are fighting against each other, basically. They don't mix well. So an example of this one would be that the old green couch was pretty ugly. So can something be pretty and ugly?
No.
Not really, right? But in this case, you're just using pretty to use it as a describing word. So pretty ugly. It's not actually pretty, right? Alrighty, good job. So now we're going to put these words on the word wall. Okay, so our first one that we are going to go put on the word wall is alliteration, which is this one right here. So, where do you guys think that we are going to put alliteration?
Under A.
Under A's. So, who wants to put the first one up?
I can do it.
Okay, Nate, come on up. Okay, so the next one is simile. Where do we think that one's going to go?
Under S.
All right, Jacob, come put it up. All right, what about hyperbole? John. Wait, where do we think it's going to go? Class?
Under H.
Under H. Good, because hyperbole starts with H. All right, students would continue to do this for the rest of the 9 figurative languages. All right, class, have a seat. Okay, so now that we have learned about the different types of figurative language, we are going to read a poem. And the first time I read it, I want you guys to just focus on thinking about what the poem is about, okay? But first, let's talk about what we think the title means. So the title of the poem says, I look in the mirror. So what do we think this poem is going to be about based off the title?
Someone wrote it about themselves.
You think that someone wrote about themselves? That's a good guess. Anyone else have any predictions?
No.
No? Everyone pretty much agrees with that one? Okay, well, let's see what the poem's about then. Okay, I Look in the Mirror by Helen H. Moore. I look in the mirror and what do I see? A pair of eyes looks back at me. A nose, 2 ears, 2 eyebrows too, 2 lips and teeth to say, I love you. I look in the mirror and what do I see? I look in the mirror and I see me. So was Jacob right whenever he said that the poem was about themselves?
Yeah.
Yeah, so whenever they look in the mirror, they see themselves. Okay, so now I'm going to read the poem again. This time, whenever you hear one of our elements of figurative language, I want you to raise your hand. Okay? So I'll read it a little bit slower this time so that we can really be thinking about all these different types. I look in the mirror and what do I see? A pair of eyes looks back at me. Good. You guys are raising your hands. Do eyes actually look back at you?
No.
Nope. So that would kind of be personification, right?
Mm-hmm.
A nose, 2 ears, 2 eyebrows, 2. 2 lips and teeth to say, I love you. I look in the mirror and what do I see? I look in the mirror and and I see me. So we had some personification, and you guys raised your hands perfectly. So when we're looking in the mirror and we see ourselves, do our eyes actually look back at us?
No.
No, because the poem was using personification and metaphors to talk about how we move, but our shadows move the same. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of an assignment, and you guys are going to write your own poems about yourselves. So as you guys can see here, I have done an example for you guys. I put my name in the right corner because that's where we put our name. So it says Miss Norton at the top. And so I'm going to read mine to you guys, and I'm going to put this next to our figurative language so that you guys can look at it if you need any help. So, my hair is soft like pillows. My eyes are blue as the ocean. My nose is round like a button. My mouth is loud like a bell. My face is happy as the sun. My body is fit like a jaguar. My hands are small like a raindrop. Okay, so this poem really focuses on similes because we are comparing our features to things that aren't our features. So, like pillows and stuff like that. So this is really going to help you guys practice your similes, and because that's today's focus is similes. And at the bottom of the assignment, I want you guys to draw a picture of you. And I drew a background, but you don't necessarily have to do that. You can use your whole face. You can draw just your face. You can draw your whole body. It's all about you. So you get to choose what you do on this assignment. All right, so get to work.